Hello ladies, it's me, Stephanie. Excuse the state of me. It has been snowing here, which I'm really excited about because it never ever snows down here. If it does, it's like a powder, and we've got a good 8 inches, so it's super exciting. So I've been out in the snow, my hair's wet, I'm all red-faced, playing in the snow because I love it. So I know not everybody loves it, so I'm sorry. I'll move on from the snow. Anyway, good evening ladies. My name is Stephanie. For new ladies, of which we have many, I am your coach, curator for this amazing community, Women Who Don't Drink. So new ladies, please come in, have a look around, watch the pinned video to the top of the page. It's the welcome video. It will explain where everything is. There's the everything you need to know about alcohol videos in the files section, which is a must watch for ladies in the early days. There's also an ebook for you to download. And loads of these Facebook Lives are in the video section. If you can't find anything, please ask, okay? So many resources on this page to help you on your alcohol-free journey, whether that's reduce, whether that's take a break, or whether you want to stop. We celebrate any alcohol-free day. It's just all about you feeling happy and healthy, okay? So welcome. Also, I only have 2 spaces left on the retreat. So if you're interested in the retreat, let me know. Literally have 2 spaces left, which is amazing. So yeah, super excited about that. Okay, so tonight's video is about what to say when we stop drinking. But it's not just that, it's about how we feel about it as well. So early days depends on, there's lots of stuff going on behind this. I'm going to try and explain. So it can be when we first stop drinking, and if we go out, sometimes people go out, sometimes people don't, you know, sometimes people give it a bit of time. It doesn't matter. There's no sort of hard and fast rule. It really is about how you feel. But anyway, even if you are sort of avoiding those social boozy situations, there is going to be a time, you know, whether it's a work meeting or anything, isn't it, where somebody's going to say, what do you want to drink? And if you're taking a break or you're doing really well, your intention probably is not to drink. You know, that's your intention. So somebody asks you, what do you want to drink? And you're like, oh, I'll have a lime and soda, or I'll have a cup of tea, or I'll have a cup of coffee, or whatever it is that you like to drink, you know, a sparkling water. Now, there's a few things about this. I'm going to try and come at it from different angles. Now, bottom line, ladies, you have every right to drink whatever you want to drink whenever you want to. Here's the thing. There doesn't have to be a backstory. There doesn't have to be an issue. You can choose to drink a lime and soda, a cup of tea, or a coffee. So here's the thing. People are always going to form an opinion. They're going to make a story up in their head. Not always, you know, I'm generalising. And they'll make assumptions. That's their choice. It's entirely up to them what they do in their head with their story. That has no bearing on you, okay? So remember that. You are entitled to drink whatever you want to drink whenever you want to. You know, it's your life. You choose what goes in your body, okay? So when you're sort of saying that you want that drink, I just want you to think about it like that. Like, you can choose to have a lime and soda. So you might be a drinker, you might be a regular drinker, but just on that day you want a lime and soda. So why would somebody challenge that? Okay. So think about how you want to say it as well. So and also what to say. So it's, you know, there's lots of reasons why maybe you're not drinking, lots of reasons. So it's always really good to be armed with your reason. Now, it also, this is your life, your story. So it's up to you how much you share of it. There doesn't have to be something awful that's happened. So, you know, it might be that you are driving. It might be that you just don't feel very well. Maybe that you don't feel like it. Maybe you want to lose some weight. Maybe you're on medication. There could be 1,000,001 reasons why you don't want to have an alcoholic drink. So you can have those really simple answers, you know, the obvious ones, like that people don't, you know, if you say, oh, I'm driving, most people aren't going to say anything. Or if you say I'm on medication, or if you say I've got a meeting tomorrow, or I just don't feel very well, or I don't feel like it. So you can be armed with one of those really simple ones that people tend to just not say anything. You know, it's also it's about how you deliver it as well. So if you just say it off pat, you know, like it's nothing, like it's a, you know, oh, I want a packet of peanuts, you know, like it's that type of thing. Also, be really good at managing the conversation. This can really help. So if you're early days, then, sorry, it was just a dog. If you're early days and like you're a little bit worried about this and you don't want to talk about it and you don't want to be challenged, and you're out and you say, I want a lime of soda, and somebody says, oh, go on, have a drink, and you say, no, it's okay, I'm driving. Change the subject. So be like the mistress of the conversation. So like, you know, the same as if you were in a work meeting or you're talking to a teenager or a child, you know, where you're leading the conversation. So most people like talking about themselves. So if they say, do you want a drink, and you say, I have a lime of soda, and they say, oh, go on, have a proper drink, and you say, no, it's okay, I'm driving, then say, oh, but you know, that's a nice top, or what happened with your car, or are you feeling better now, or how's it going with your wife? You know, whatever it is that you can have a conversation with that person. So changing the subject and being the mistress of the conversation, so you're guiding it. You know, giving people an opportunity to talk about themselves is always a winner. People love talking about themselves. Ask them a question and they'll tell them. And before they know it, they've forgotten about it and they've moved on. And you're not discussing the fact that you haven't had an alcoholic drink, because after all, it's not important, is it? Grand scale of things, it's not important. Now, as time goes on, if you want to, and this is entirely up to you, I really need you to hear this, ladies. You know, what's important here is you and your choice and what you put in your body, okay? Nothing else, no one else, nada, zilch. It's all about you, okay? If you want to, when you're ready, you can have an open, honest conversation about it if you want to. But now, here's the thing. If there is a bit of a story, you know, this is your story. So own your story. Think about how you want to tell your story. Now, I've got a really big thing about this. And if you listen to me talk, it's slightly different here because we're all very open and it's a very safe place. So we are open with each other. But in other different formats, if you hear me speak, you'll hear me talk and you'll hear me be very careful about how I share my story and how I share my past and how I give snippets. You know, I'm being honest, but it's my story. So I'm owning my story and I'm sharing the bits that I want to share in a way that I want to share it, using language. So when I used to run treatment services and we would recruit volunteers who were wonderful, you know, usually people sort of who are newly alcohol free or drug free, and they're doing some training and, you know, just loving it and flying, and they'd be asked to talk in different places, you know, talk about their story, talk about their journey. I would always sit and have a conversation with them about, okay, let's really think about this. You know, what's the benefit of you sharing this and what you're sharing? You know, what does that do for you and how do you feel? Because when we share all of our story, it can feel vulnerable. And actually, if you're just in a bar in your early days and there is a story and somebody asks you questions, you don't have to tell anybody anything. You don't. That's why I said, like, driving, medication, I want to lose weight, I've got a meeting tomorrow. You know, you changing the subject, you can use those for as long as you want. But as you go on, if you do want to say anything, you know, just be very clear about owning your story, very clear about what you do want to share. Now, when I'm out and about, which does happen, I do go out, and sometimes I get into a conversation with someone about it, and sometimes someone will ask me, and actually it's in that moment it feels appropriate to share something of my story, so I will, but only if it feels appropriate, and only if I think, sometimes I get a feeling that someone wants to share with me and that they're really struggling, so I share a little bit about some of my background, and then it sort of, before you know it, they're sort of telling me things that they really need to tell someone. So I gauge it very carefully. What I do as well is, when you feel confident and where it's appropriate, is I do sometimes have a really good debate with people about drugs and alcohol. So, you know, if people say, oh, you're not drinking, and I'll be like, no, I don't drink, or I don't drink very often, or I don't feel like it tonight, because as you know, I don't say I'm abstinent. And somebody might say, why not? And I'll be like, well, because it's a very harmful, highly addictive drug, and I choose not to take it, knowing fully that it's probably going to spark some sort of debate, which I'm totally up for, so that's fine. And I only do that in the right setting, or you know, when I'm in the mood for that, because it's about keeping it light and keeping it a bit fun, because you know, you don't want to come across as evangelical, and remember, it's about you, it's not about them. So yeah, sometimes that can be a lot of fun. Now, my favourite one as well, when you're feeling a bit confident, which is a really good one, is when somebody asks you why you don't drink, is I say, why do you drink? And that's always really interesting, because very few people can actually tell you why they drink. So if you're having a really good, honest conversation about how you feel about alcohol, and then you ask them why they drink, that's a really interesting conversation. Bottom line is, you do what you feel okay with. This is so, so important. Now, I just want to share something with you that's an example of how you deliver the message. So I think it was in the summer, I can't remember, a friend of mine who is alcohol free, and she's doing really, really well, looks amazing, and we were at a wedding, and we were having a drink, not an alcoholic drink, and you know, somebody was chatting to her, and they said, oh, what are you drinking? And she said, oh, it's okay, I'm just drinking sparkling water, or whatever it was. And they said, oh, you don't drink? And the way she delivered it, she basically said, no, I don't. But she said it in such a way, she said, no, I don't drink, in a way as that I'd won the lottery. That's how she delivered the message. So she looks amazing. She delivered the message really confidently, like it was the best thing in the world that had ever happened to her. And then I watched, it was really interesting, the people that received that message were so happy for her, because it was very obvious that she'd found this pot of gold or something. It was just amazing to watch, because she was feeling so good about herself. I mean, she was quite a way in, I think, I can't remember, so it wasn't early, you know, probably maybe a few months, maybe a bit more than that. But it's that when you feel good and how you deliver the message, then how it's received, it's really interesting. So I just wanted to share that with you. But bottom line, ladies, is this is your life, your choice. You choose what you put into your body, and it's entirely up to you. So feel good about what you're saying, and if you want to keep it really simple, just be armed with that quick response, and then also become really clever at managing conversations so that you can ask questions, change the subject, and remember that people always love talking about themselves. I hope that was useful, and feel free to ask me any questions. I'm sure we'll have a good conversation about that. And I'll see you soon, ladies. Bye.